Hello, I'm going to be showing you how to solve problems for the ALEKS topic, conditional probability basic. All right, so first let's read it together. It is estimated that 26% of all California adults are college graduates. I'm going to highlight that in one color since those correspond to each other. And that 30% of California adults are regular internet users. So 26% are college graduates, 30% are internet users. It is also estimated that 20% of California adults are both college graduates and regular internet users. Okay, so we have three pieces of information, and let's just go ahead and label them. So the red one is the probability that someone is a college graduate. So let's call that the P of C. All right, 30% of California adults are regular internet users. Let's call that the probability of I, because internet, right? And lastly, 20% are both, right? So C and I, both of those. The probability of being a college graduate and an internet user. Let's make this an and sign so it's not confusing that it's a plus. So this is the probability of college graduates. Go ahead and try and write what they're equal to before I do. So what's the probability of someone being a college graduate? 26%, or 0.26. What's the probability of someone being an internet user? 30%, or 0.3 or 0.30. Either one would work. And lastly, what's the probability of both, that someone is a computer user and, a college graduate and an internet user? That is 0.20 or just 0.2. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and figure out these two probabilities. All right, so let's start with the first one. Among California adults, what is the probability that a randomly chosen internet user is a college graduate? So what this is really asking us about is college graduates, because if you'll notice, the way that the question is worded, it's saying among California adults, what is the probability that a randomly chosen internet user, so this is actually what's given already, is a college graduate. That's what we want to solve for. So that's what we're going to want to isolate. We're going to want to isolate the C, the college graduate. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So in order for us to do that, we're finding the probability of someone being a college graduate given, that's how you read that, is given the fact that they are an internet user. All right, so we're going to try and isolate for the C, the college graduate. So in order for us to do that, I'm going to write that a little bit to the left. Let's try that again. So here's A first. The probability that someone is a college graduate given that they are an internet user. So that's equal to, since you're solving for the college graduate, you want to basically get rid of the I. So on top, you put the probability, you put the probability of both. The probability of both is 0.20. And we're going to go ahead and divide that by, well, we wanted to get rid of the I, right? So we want to solve for C, college graduate. So in order to get rid of the I, what we have to put on bottom is the I, the 0.30, which is yellow, 0.30, right? Since this whole thing is equal to C and I, the probability of C and I, sorry, this is a parentheses, divided by the probability of I then the i's will cancel out, and we'll only have it for c, which is what we wanted to solve for. So this will be equal to, let's see, 0.20 divided by 0.30 would be, let's see, 0.66666 or 0.67 if we rounded it to the nearest. 0.67 if we rounded it to the nearest 100. So for this, we would have 0.67. All right, let's go ahead and try B. I'm going to erase this. So if you need this, write it down. Go ahead and erase it. All right, so let's go ahead and read this one together. What is the probability that a California adult is an internet user given that he or she is a college graduate? So this is kind of asking the question, what, backwards, right? So given that they're a college graduate, so that's what we are assuming. We are assuming that they are a college graduate. And what we're actually solving for is if they are an internet user. An internet user, that's what we really want to know. Are they an internet user? So we're going to try and make it so that the college graduate cancels out. So what we're going to do is when we set up our problem, we're going to set it up so that the probability we're solving for the probability of, so we're finding the probability of them being an internet user given C, the fact that they're a college graduate. So since we want to know I, we're going to find something that cancels out the C. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the probability of C and I on top. But this time, we're going to try and be getting rid of the C, so we're going to divide by 0.26 on both sides, probability of C, so that all that we're left with, when these cancel out, is going to be the I, right? So this is equal to, let's see, the probability of C and I is 0.20. So we have 0.20 divided by probability of C, which is 0.26. 0.26. So if we do that on our calculator, let's see, 0.2 divided by 0.26, you get 0.769. So rounded to the nearest 100th, that's 0.77. So right here is 0.77. So it's really important to think what are we assuming here, and then what do we want to know? What we want to know is what you want to be left on its own here.